The world had become loud. Cities never slept anymore. Neon lights flickered across glass towers, traffic hummed endlessly through the night, and billions of people scrolled through glowing screens searching for something they couldn't quite name. Hope felt rare. Kindness felt temporary. And faith had become something many people argued about more than they practiced. But somewhere in the middle of all this noise, a quiet man walked unnoticed through the crowd. No cameras followed him. No headlines mentioned his name. Most people who passed him never looked twice. Yet those who did remembered him forever. On a cold morning in a crowded city, a homeless man sat shivering beside a bus stop. People hurried past him, avoiding eye contact. A businessman checked his watch. A teenager scrolled on her phone. A woman stepped around him carefully, pretending not to notice the trembling in his hands. Then a stranger approached. He looked ordinary. Simple clothes. Dark hair touched with early grey. Calm eyes that seemed to hold a strange kind of peace. He sat down beside the homeless man without saying anything. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then the stranger removed his coat and gently placed it over the man's shoulders. The homeless man looked up. "Why would you do that?" he asked quietly. The stranger smiled softly. "Because you're cold." No lecture, no speech, just a simple truth. For a moment, the city seemed to slow down. The wind stopped. The noise faded. And the homeless man later said that when the stranger looked at him, it felt like someone truly saw him for the first time in years. Over the next few months, strange stories began appearing online. Small stories. Stories most people ignored. But those who paid attention noticed something unusual. A doctor in Chicago claimed a dying patient suddenly recovered after a quiet visitor prayed beside her bed. A fisherman in the Philippines said a stranger helped him feed his entire village after a storm destroyed their boats. A refugee family in Turkey said a man appeared during the night and guided them safely across a dangerous border. None of these stories went viral. They were too quiet, too simple, too unbelievable. But one thing connected them all. The witnesses always described the same man. A gentle face, a calm voice, eyes filled with compassion, and a strange feeling of peace whenever he spoke. Most people ignored these stories. But one person didn't. Her name was Elena Morales. Elena was an investigative journalist known for exposing corruption and uncovering hidden truths. She didn't believe in miracles. She believed in evidence, facts, proof. But something about the growing pattern caught her attention. Dozens of stories. From different countries, different cultures, different languages. Yet every witness described the same mysterious man. Elena began tracking them, interviewing witnesses, comparing timelines, searching for clues. And soon she realized something impossible. The man had been seen in New York and Nairobi on the same day. In Rome and Mumbai within hours of each other. At first she assumed it was coincidence, or internet mythology. But the deeper she dug, the stranger the evidence became. Security cameras occasionally caught glimpses of him, but the footage always glitched. Photos blurred strangely around his face, almost as if the cameras couldn't quite focus on him. The moment Elena realized something extraordinary was happening came from a hospital in Brazil. A young boy named Mateo had been declared clinically dead after a severe illness. Doctors tried everything. Nothing worked. The family gathered around his bed, grieving. Then a hospital nurse noticed a man sitting quietly beside the boy. No one had seen him enter. He gently held the boy's hand and whispered something no one else could hear. Moments later, Mateo's heart began beating again. Machines beeped wildly. Doctors rushed into the room. The boy was alive. When they looked back toward the chair where the stranger sat, he was gone. Security footage later showed him leaving the hospital. Elena watched the footage over and over. The man walked calmly through the hallway. Patients looked at him with curiosity. Some even smiled. But the strange part came when he reached the hospital exit. Just before stepping outside, he paused and slowly turned his head, looking directly at the camera, at Elena. Even though she was watching the footage thousands of miles away, she felt a sudden chill run through her body. For a moment, she felt like the man knew she was searching for him. Elena continued her investigation for months. What she discovered disturbed her. The mysterious man never performed miracles publicly, never attracted attention, never stayed long in one place. He appeared only when someone truly needed help. A grieving mother, a hungry child, a dying stranger. He healed quietly, spoke gently, then disappeared, almost as if he wanted to remain hidden. Elena began asking religious scholars for their thoughts. Most dismissed the idea. People want miracles, one professor said, so they invent them. Another laughed. If Jesus came back today, he said, the world wouldn't recognize him. That statement stayed in Elena's mind. Because the more she studied the mysterious stranger, the more something unsettling began to emerge. His words sounded familiar. Too familiar. Witnesses reported hearing him say things like, "Blessed are those who show mercy. Love your enemies. Forgive them." Ancient words. Words written thousands of years ago. Elena finally found a lead. A small village in northern Spain reported that the stranger had helped rebuild homes destroyed by a landslide. She traveled there immediately. The villagers described the same man. Kind, quiet, unassuming, and they told Elena he was still nearby, working at a local shelter. Her heart pounded as she approached the building. Inside, volunteers served food to the poor. And there he was, the man from the videos, washing dishes, smiling gently as he worked. He looked completely ordinary, not divine, not powerful, just human. Elena walked toward him. Her voice trembled slightly. "Excuse me," she said. The man looked up. His eyes met hers. And for a moment, everything felt strangely calm. "Yes," he said softly. Elena swallowed. "I've been searching for you." The man studied her face carefully, then smiled. "Many people are searching," he replied, "but few know what they're looking for." Elena sat across from him at a small wooden table. Her recorder rested between them. "People say you've healed the sick," she began. "They say you've saved lives." The man said nothing. She leaned forward. "Who are you?" He looked out the window at the sunset. Children laughed in the distance. Birds flew across the sky. Then he answered quietly, "Just a man." Elena shook her head. "That's not true." The man turned back toward her, his expression calm, almost compassionate. "What if the truth," he said, "is something the world isn't ready to hear?" Elena felt a sudden wave of unease. "Try me." The man looked at her for a long moment, then asked a question that would haunt her forever. "If I told the world who I truly am, do you think they would listen?" Elena didn't answer immediately, because suddenly she realized something else. Across the street, two black vehicles had just parked. Men in dark suits stepped out, watching the shelter carefully. The mysterious man noticed them too, but he didn't look afraid. Instead, he sighed quietly, almost sadly. Then he stood up. "Thank you for the conversation," he said. "Wait," Elena said quickly. "You still haven't answered my question." The man paused at the door. Without turning around, he spoke one last sentence. "Sometimes the truth must remain hidden until the world is ready." And then he walked outside. By the time Elena rushed after him, he was gone. The black vehicles remained. The men were searching the streets, but the quiet man had vanished once again. That night, Elena couldn't sleep. She replayed the conversation again and again in her mind. The stories, the miracles, the familiar words, and the impossible feeling she experienced when he looked into her eyes. A question slowly formed in her mind. A terrifying one. What if the mysterious man wasn't just another miracle worker? What if he was something far greater? What if Jesus had returned to earth? But this time, he chose to live quietly among humanity, unnoticed, helping people in secret, waiting, watching, for the moment the world might finally be ready to hear him again. The world didn't change overnight. Most people continued living their lives the same way they always had. Cities remained loud. Arguments continued online. Nations debated politics. And millions of people woke up each day worried about money, health, or the future. But quietly, something had begun to shift. Stories were spreading. Small stories. Strange stories. Stories that made people stop for a moment and wonder. Stories about a mysterious man. 3 weeks after Elena Morales returned from Spain, something unexpected happened. A video appeared online. At first, it looked like any other clip uploaded to social media. The footage came from a street vendor in Cairo who had been recording a vlog about his food stand. In the background of the video, a crowd had gathered around an injured dog lying in the street. Cars passed by. People stood watching. No one seemed to know what to do. Then a quiet man stepped into the frame. The same man Elena had been searching for. He knelt beside the animal. The dog whimpered softly. For a moment, the man simply placed his hand gently on the dog's side. The crowd watched silently. Then something strange happened. The dog slowly stood up. It wagged its tail and began walking again as if nothing had happened. The crowd gasped. Some people laughed nervously. Others stared in disbelief. The quiet man smiled and walked away before anyone could stop him. The video ended there. But within hours, millions of people had seen it. At first, people argued. Some said the video was fake. Others believed it was simply coincidence. A few claimed it was staged. But then something unusual happened. More videos began appearing. Different cities, different countries, different witnesses. Yet each video showed the same mysterious figure. Helping people, healing animals, comforting strangers. Always quietly, always disappearing before anyone could ask too many questions. Within days, the internet had given him a nickname, the Walking Miracle. Elena Morales watched the videos late into the night. Her apartment was dark except for the glow of her laptop screen. She compared each clip carefully. Every detail matched the man she had met in Spain. The same calm face, the same gentle movements, the same peaceful expression. But now something had changed. The world was starting to see him. And that made Elena nervous. Because if her suspicions were correct, the attention could become dangerous. Soon the mysterious man became the subject of intense global debate. News networks discussed him daily. Religious leaders offered different interpretations. Some believed he might be a modern prophet. Others warned people not to be deceived. Scientists tried to explain the miracles through psychology or coincidence. And conspiracy theorists began creating wild stories online. But one question kept appearing again and again. Who was he? And why did he refuse to reveal himself? One rainy evening, Elena received an email. It contained only a single sentence. He's here again. Attached was a location. A small coastal town in Portugal. Elena didn't hesitate. She booked the next flight. When she arrived, the town was quiet. Fishing boats rocked gently in the harbor. Storm clouds rolled across the ocean. And according to the locals, the mysterious man had been seen walking along the beach that very morning. Elena searched the shoreline for hours. Just as the sun began setting, she saw him, standing alone near the water, watching the waves. Elena approached slowly. The wind carried the scent of the sea. For a moment, the man didn't turn around. He simply spoke. I wondered when you would find me again. Elena stopped. You knew I would come. The man smiled faintly. Curiosity is powerful. She walked closer. This has gotten bigger, she said. The world is starting to notice you. He looked out across the ocean. I know. Does that worry you? He paused before answering. Not for myself, but for them. Elena studied his expression carefully. People think you're performing miracles, she said. Some even believe you might be. She hesitated. The man finished the sentence for her. Someone they once knew. Elena nodded slowly. Are they wrong? The man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he bent down and picked up a small stone from the sand. He tossed it gently into the ocean. Ripples spread across the surface of the water. "Humanity is like the ocean," he said quietly. "Every action creates waves." Elena crossed her arms. "You're avoiding the question." He finally turned toward her. His eyes held the same calm warmth she remembered. "Tell me something," he said. "If someone returned after 2,000 years, do you think the world would welcome him?" Elena thought about the endless arguments she saw online every day. The anger, the division, the hatred between people who disagreed. She sighed. "Probably not." The man nodded. "That's why I walk quietly." Suddenly the wind grew stronger. Dark clouds rolled across the sky. A violent storm was approaching the coast. Fishermen in the harbor rushed to secure their boats. Waves crashed harder against the shore. Elena looked toward the sea. This storm wasn't in the forecast. The man remained calm, watching the horizon. Storms come when the world is restless. Thunder echoed across the water. Rain began to fall. The fishermen shouted in panic as one small boat struggled against the rising waves. A child's voice screamed from the dock. "My father!" The boat rocked violently. It looked like it might capsize. Elena turned to the man. He was already walking toward the water. Rain poured down. Wind howled across the beach. The waves grew larger. Yet the quiet man stepped calmly into the ocean. Elena stared in disbelief. He continued walking forward. The water reached his knees, then his waist. But suddenly, something impossible happened. The man kept walking, not sinking, not struggling, walking calmly across the surface of the water. The storm seemed to slow around him. Even the waves seemed to quiet as he approached the struggling boat. The fishermen watched in shock. He helped them steady the vessel. Moments later, the storm began to fade. The wind softened. The waves calmed. And the quiet man returned to shore as if nothing unusual had happened. Elena stood frozen. Her heart raced. Her mind searched desperately for a logical explanation. But none existed. She finally whispered the words she had been afraid to say. "You walked on water." The man brushed rain from his jacket. "It's just water." Elena shook her head slowly. "No." She looked directly into his eyes. "You're not just a man." The mysterious figure studied her expression carefully. Then he asked a question, one that would change everything. "If the world truly believed who I was, what do you think they would do?" Elena didn't answer immediately, because deep down, she already knew the truth. Some people would worship him, some would fear him, and others would try to destroy him. High above the coastline, hidden inside a surveillance satellite, a government intelligence system had been tracking unusual global events. When the system detected the strange weather patterns around the Portuguese coast, it automatically focused its cameras on the beach and captured everything: the storm, the boat, the impossible moment on the water. Inside a secure monitoring facility thousands of miles away, an analyst stared at the footage in shock. He whispered 2 words: "Oh my God." Within minutes, the video was sent to powerful officials around the world. For the first time, the mysterious man had been seen clearly, and now the most powerful governments on Earth knew something extraordinary was happening. Back on the beach, Elena turned to ask another question, but the quiet man was already walking away. She called after him, "Wait." He stopped briefly. "Will I see you again?" she asked. He looked back one last time. "People always find me when they truly need to." Then he disappeared into the fading storm, leaving Elena standing alone on the beach, holding the biggest story in human history. And somewhere deep inside her mind, a terrifying thought began to grow. If the world discovered who this man really was, history might repeat itself. The footage spread faster than anyone expected. At first, only a few analysts inside a classified monitoring facility had seen it. But within hours, copies were sent to intelligence agencies across the world. Washington, Beijing, Moscow, London, Tel Aviv. The same question echoed through secure conference rooms and encrypted communications. Who was the man on the water? Inside a heavily guarded government facility in Washington, a group of senior officials gathered around a long table. A massive screen displayed the satellite footage from the Portuguese coast. The storm. The fishing boat. The quiet man walking across the ocean. No one spoke for several seconds. Then one of the analysts finally broke the silence. "This footage has been verified by 3 independent systems," he said. "No manipulation. No editing." A general leaned forward. "That's impossible." The analyst nodded slowly. "Yes, sir. But it happened." Within days, intelligence agencies began building theories. Some believed the man might be part of a secret scientific experiment. Others suspected a new form of advanced technology. A defense strategist raised another possibility. What if this individual has abilities we don't understand? The room grew quiet. Then someone spoke the thought many were afraid to say out loud. What if his supernatural? The room erupted in nervous laughter, but no one could provide another explanation. Meanwhile, analysts began connecting the growing number of sightings. Hospitals, refugee camps, disaster zones, small villages. The same man appeared again and again, helping people, healing the sick, saving lives, then disappearing before authorities could arrive. But something else worried them even more. Wherever he appeared, people began gathering, listening to him, following him. One government official finally spoke the words that would change everything. If this man can influence large populations, he could destabilize entire nations. Another leader nodded. Or unite them. That might be even more dangerous. Silence filled the room again. Then the decision was made. Find him. And bring him in. Within days, intelligence agencies launched a worldwide search. Satellites scanned cities. Facial recognition programs analyzed millions of faces. Airports monitored passengers. Digital systems tracked unusual social media posts. The mysterious man was now the most wanted person on Earth. But he continued appearing in the most unexpected places. A flooded village in Bangladesh. A hospital ward in Germany. A refugee shelter in Jordan. Every time authorities arrived, he was already gone. Elena Morales realized what was happening when one of her confidential sources contacted her. "Governments are looking for him," the source said urgently. "They're treating him like a global threat." Elena felt a cold wave of fear. "He's not dangerous," she replied. "That's not how intelligence agencies see it." Her source lowered his voice. "They think he could influence billions of people." Elena looked out the window at the city lights. "If they catch him," she whispered, "they won't try to understand him. They'll try to control him." Meanwhile, the mysterious man continued moving quietly across the world. But something had changed. People were starting to recognize him. At first, it was only a few. A farmer in Mexico, a nurse in Italy, a teacher in Kenya. But gradually, more and more people began noticing the same face from the viral videos. Wherever he stopped, small crowds gathered. Not because he asked them to, but because people felt drawn to him. One evening in a small park in Argentina, something unusual happened. A group of people had gathered around him. They asked questions about life, about suffering, about hope. The man listened quietly. Then he spoke. His voice was calm, not loud, yet somehow every person could hear him clearly. "The world has become very loud," he said. "So loud that many people have forgotten how to listen." The crowd grew silent. "People search for happiness in power, wealth, and fame," he continued. "But the things that truly matter," he looked around at the faces watching him, "are much simpler. Kindness, forgiveness, compassion, the same ancient ideas. Yet hearing them spoken again felt strangely powerful. Some people began crying quietly. Others simply listened in silence. For a moment, the chaotic world felt peaceful again. High above the park, hidden among the clouds, a military surveillance drone watched everything. Inside a remote control center thousands of miles away, an operator stared at the screen. "That's him," he said. Within minutes, armed response teams were dispatched to the location. But by the time they arrived, the park was empty. The crowd had dispersed, and the mysterious man was gone. Again, as sightings increased, the world began splitting into two groups. Some people believed the man was a miracle worker. Others feared he might be dangerous. Religious leaders debated whether he could be a prophet. Scientists searched desperately for rational explanations. And governments continued trying to find him. But the more they searched, the harder he seemed to track. Almost as if he always knew when they were coming. Weeks later, Elena received another message. This time it wasn't an email. It was a handwritten note slipped under her apartment door. It contained only 3 words: "I need your help," and an address. When she arrived at the location, she found a small abandoned church on the edge of the city. Inside, the quiet man was waiting. Sunlight streamed through broken stained glass windows. Dust floated in the air. For a moment neither of them spoke. Then Elena finally asked the question that had been haunting her. "They're hunting you now," she said. "I know. Why don't you just reveal who you are?" The man looked toward the old altar. "Because the world isn't ready." Elena shook her head. "They might capture you." He smiled gently. "That has happened before." Elena felt chills run down her spine. "You're talking like someone who has lived through this already." The man turned toward her, his expression calm, peaceful, and strangely sad. "Humanity often repeats the same stories," he said, "especially when fear is involved." Outside the church, black vehicles suddenly appeared on the street. Government agents stepped out, moving quickly toward the building. Elena's heart raced. "They found you." The mysterious man remained calm. He walked toward the doorway. But before leaving, he turned back to Elena one last time. "If the world discovers the truth too soon, it might repeat its greatest mistake." Then he stepped outside and walked directly toward the approaching agents. The agents raised their weapons. "Stop right there." The man continued walking calmly. No fear, no resistance, just the same peaceful expression. The commander shouted again, "Identify yourself." The quiet man stopped. For a moment, the entire street fell silent. He looked at the soldiers surrounding him. Then he spoke softly, "I have many names." The wind moved gently through the street. The agents hesitated. Some felt a strange sense of calm. Others felt something they couldn't explain. Fear. Because deep down, something about the man standing before them felt far beyond their understanding. Far away, in a remote monastery high in the mountains of Tibet, an elderly monk watched the global news reports. He studied the images carefully. Then he smiled quietly. Turning to a younger student beside him, he whispered something ancient. "The teacher has returned. But the world still has much to learn." The moment on the empty street was captured by dozens of cameras. Government body cams, surveillance cameras, news drones hovering far above the city. Within minutes, clips of the confrontation began leaking online. At first the footage appeared only on obscure message boards. But the internet moves fast. And once something escapes into the digital world, it becomes almost impossible to stop. The clip was only 37 seconds long. It showed the mysterious man standing calmly in the middle of the street. Government agents surrounded him with rifles raised. Their commander shouted orders. But the man didn't resist. He didn't run. He simply looked at them with quiet compassion. Then something strange happened. One by one, the agents began lowering their weapons. Not because they were ordered to, but because something about the man standing before them made it impossible to pull the trigger. When the footage reached the internet, millions of people watched it within hours. For many viewers, something about the man felt strangely familiar. They had seen paintings of that face before. Ancient paintings. church murals, historical depictions that were centuries old. The same long hair, the same calm expression, the same gentle eyes. At first, people dismissed the idea. It was too unbelievable, too impossible. But the comparisons kept spreading. Side-by-side images appeared online. The mysterious man, and classical paintings of Jesus Christ. The resemblance was undeniable. Within days, the world erupted into the largest debate in human history. News networks discussed the mystery 24 hours a day. Scientists tried to explain the events logically. Religious leaders spoke cautiously. Some believed it was a divine sign. Others warned people not to jump to conclusions. But millions of ordinary people felt something different. Hope. A quiet, powerful feeling they couldn't explain. Meanwhile, sightings of the mysterious man increased dramatically. He appeared in places where suffering was greatest. A war zone where a ceasefire suddenly occurred after he spoke with soldiers from both sides. A hospital where several terminally ill patients recovered unexpectedly. A drought-stricken village where rain finally began to fall after years of dryness. Witnesses described the same thing every time. He never asked for attention. He never claimed to be special. He simply helped people, then moved on. Elena Morales watched the growing global chaos from her apartment. Every news channel was discussing the same question. Could it really be him? Elena knew something the world didn't. She had spoken with him, looked into his eyes. He never once claimed to be Jesus, but he never denied it either. Finally, she made a decision. She released the full interview she had secretly recorded inside the abandoned church. Within minutes, the video began spreading across the planet. In the recording, Elena asked him directly, "Are you the man the world thinks you are?" The mysterious figure smiled gently. Then he answered with a question. "If the world believed I returned today, would they listen to what I taught the first time?" The silence after that sentence was powerful, because deep down, everyone knew the answer. Humanity had not changed as much as it liked to believe. Soon the mysterious man became the most searched person in human history. People from every nation began sharing stories. Some claimed they had seen him months earlier. Others described moments where a stranger helped them during a crisis and disappeared before they could say thank you. Suddenly those memories felt different, meaningful, as if the man had been quietly moving through the world for years, helping people without anyone noticing. Then something extraordinary happened. In a small valley outside Jerusalem, thousands of people reported seeing the mysterious man walking among olive trees. News crews rushed to the location. Within hours, tens of thousands of people gathered there. Then hundreds of thousands. The world watched live as helicopters hovered above the valley. And there he was, standing quietly on a hillside, looking out across the crowd. For a moment, no one spoke. The crowd simply waited. Then the man began walking slowly toward them. Microphones captured his voice. But strangely, even those far away said they could hear him clearly. "My friends," he said gently, "you have spent centuries searching for signs, waiting for someone to return and fix the world." The crowd remained silent. But the truth is simpler than you think. He paused, then spoke the words that would echo across history. The world changes when people choose love over fear, kindness over anger, forgiveness over revenge. He looked across the enormous crowd. "I came once before to teach this, and humanity still has time to learn." Some people in the crowd fell to their knees. Others cried openly. Many simply stood frozen. Across the planet, billions watched the broadcast live. In homes, in offices, in hospitals, in war zones. And in that moment, for the first time in centuries, humanity felt something rare. Unity. As the sun began setting over the valley, the mysterious man looked out across the crowd one final time. Then he said something no one expected. "I will not stay." A ripple of confusion moved through the crowd. "Why?" someone shouted. He smiled gently. "Because the message was never about the messenger. It was always about you." Then he stepped back into the crowd. And just like every other time, he disappeared. For weeks afterward, people searched for him everywhere, but he was never seen again. Yet something remarkable had changed. Across the world, acts of kindness began increasing. Communities helped strangers more often. Old conflicts suddenly seemed less important. It wasn't perfect. Humanity still argued, still struggled, still made mistakes. But something had shifted. A reminder had been given. A lesson repeated. And this time, billions had heard it. Years later, Elena Morales published a book about the events. At the end of the book, she wrote one final question. A question historians would debate for generations. Did the world truly see Jesus return? Or did humanity simply remember the message it had forgotten? No one could answer for certain. But perhaps, that was never the point.